This is me at 180 pounds, and this is me at 150 pounds. Now, how did I get there? Lots of hard work and dedication, right? Actually, I'm going to show you 3 steps, 3 simple steps to lose weight. Now, I said simple, and they are incredibly simple. A lot of people think that you had to get everything right all of the time to make it happen, but you do not. Now, notice how I did not say easy. It is not necessarily easy to do it, but it is incredibly simple. Now, yes, I lost 30 pounds in 3 months. I'm not gonna recommend everybody go that aggressively. In fact, if I were to go back, I would probably do it differently. Unless you're super overweight, I would aim to lose 1, maybe 2 pounds per week. I lost it quite a bit faster than that, and I wouldn't recommend it for several reasons. 1, I am hungry, so hungry all of the time, and it's very hard to control my appetite. If you lose fat too fast, you could be losing muscle as well. I'm shooting to get to about 10% body fat, because once I get to 10% body fat, I would like to start my bulk and get to about 15% body fat. That's the range I want my phases to be. End my cut at 10% body fat, lean bulk until I'm 15% body fat, and then repeat. So how did I do it? Like I said earlier, it is incredibly simple. There is not very much to it. Step 1, get disciplined. Step 2, control your calories. Step 3, exercise or training. I would recommend resistance training. Hold on though, step 3 is actually optional. To lose a lot of weight, you actually don't have to exercise. Do you believe that? Now, before you throw step 3 out, let's keep it in there because I still think it is very beneficial and very helpful in so many ways. But the fact is if you can control step number 2, your diet, you will lose weight. I know that's controversial, and we'll get into that as I explain the steps. So let's go over step 1, get disciplined. Now, if you can somehow complete step 2 without step 1, then you can actually disregard step 1 as well. Step 2 is really all that matters. But unless you're in a lab and somebody is forcing you to follow step 2, I think you're gonna need step 1. Discipline is so important because motivation ebbs and flows. I can talk to you right now and you can be feeling motivated to get fit. You can be feeling motivated to get jacked. You can feel motivated as you walk up to that 300-pound bench and just push it up. That motivation is there and it's pushing you. But what about the day when you wake up and suddenly you just don't have that motivation? You have to have discipline. So how do you get disciplined? If you're already a disciplined individual, go ahead, skip to step 2 and 3. But if you're not, I have some tricks to help you slowly begin to grow discipline. Growing discipline, it's funny, is a lot like growing muscle. It actually takes some practice and some work and some effort to grow that discipline. Luckily though, it can start off very easily. So to grow your discipline, start off at a very low weight. If you feel like you're not a very disciplined person, you're gonna start like you start weights, a very low weight, something very easy to do discipline-wise. For example, right now, if you're the kind of person who's not disciplined, I wouldn't recommend for you jump into this headlong and just go all out. All that you can do, everything bam, bam, bam. Because if you're not ready for that, you're probably just gonna end up right back where you are in a very short amount of time. So let's start by growing that muscle of discipline very slowly. Like weights, you're gonna start with a low weight. And so with discipline, you're gonna start with something very easy. If you've struggled before starting a diet and staying on that diet, this is what I would recommend. Start with just a small diet alteration. For example, let's say that you have a snack, a candy bar between lunch and dinner. Just cut that out for a week. See if you can maintain that. If you can do that for a week, then you're gonna add something else the next week. Now let's cut out your snack between breakfast and lunch. Just something that simple. Even if you make up for those calories in lunch or dinner, it is at least growing your discipline muscle. I believe that if you can make one smart decision every single day, and then the next week add another smart decision every single day, by a month or 2, you are going to be able to jump in to a full diet plan and an exercise routine. Those smart decisions don't all have to be diet. They can be going on a walk. It could be getting 8,000 steps a day. It could be getting 5,000 steps a day depending on where you're at. However easy you need to make it for yourself, you can start exercising that disciplined muscle. I would recommend getting a piece of paper and writing down these small, smart goals that you're going to start making. Everything that you put on this piece of paper, you are not allowed to negotiate with yourself. You have to be willing to say, if I put this down, I am going to do it. I don't get a vote after I put it on the paper. Sure, you have a vote right now whether or not you want to put it on the paper or not. But once you put it on the paper, make sure that you do not negotiate with yourself to remove it for a day or whatever you have to do. If it's on the paper, you have to stick to it. So if you're worried about that, like I said, keep it very easy at the start. Another awesome tool for growing discipline is accountability. Some things that I've done with accountability is I'll talk to a friend and be like, hey, if I don't do exactly what is on this list, then I give you the authority to tell me I have to go run 5 miles or something like that. Maybe you don't want to start off with 5 miles, but if you don't do this, then your friend gets to hold you accountable to running a mile. I hate running. Like honestly, running is like one of the worst things for me. I do not enjoy it at all. If you enjoy it, congratulations. That's a very fantastic thing to enjoy, but I don't enjoy it. So for me, I say to my friend, if I don't run the 5 miles, I owe you $100 or $10 or $50, whatever is going to be an amount that's motivating enough for you. That accountability will help you stick to those small goals. So start by building the discipline muscle. You can do whatever you want to do, anything you set your mind to do. If you have some discipline, you can do it. And now we've reached the important step. Test number 2, your diet. What is the best diet? Is it keto? Is it carnivore? Is it some other weird, crazy fad diet? Guys, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not really into fad diets and I don't recommend them at all. However, if your fad diet helps you maintain a calorie balance, a deficit of what you want, and it's easier for you to stick to a carnivore or a keto diet, then stick to it. The best diet is the one that you can stick to. I am always going to be pushing for a traditional diet, a diet that gets your calories that you're aiming for, whether it's in a deficit or a bulk. For me right now, it's in a deficit, and then getting a high amount of protein. So what about carbs and fats? What works best for me is I take whatever remaining calories that I have and I try to get about 80% of them from carbs and 20% of them from fat. That helps me feel the best. That's what brings me happiness. That's what helps my workouts be best. But again, if you want to just stick to a lot of fat and not as many carbs, that's okay too, because what really matters is the calorie count. When it comes to weight loss, guys, all that really matters is energy in and energy out. If you are burning more calories than you are eating, you will lose weight. Period. It is a fact. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. That is a fact, and it's been proven time and time again. Here's a study showing that that is a fact. Here's another study showing that is a fact. If you don't believe what I'm saying right now, I would challenge you. Find me a reputable source showing that somebody in a lab that was strictly monitored on their calorie intake did not lose weight when they were in a deficit. Now, here's an important note. You can be in a deficit and not losing fat. Wait, didn't I just say that was impossible? No, I said it was impossible to be in a deficit and not lose weight. That's different. Fat and weight. You can be in a deficit but losing muscle, and that's a big no-no. We do not ever want to let that happen. So how do you know if you're in a deficit or not? There's a lot of awesome calorie calculators online that I'll link below. I'm not affiliated and I don't have any sponsors right now for this video. So below, there's a place to find what you should start out if you want to be in a deficit or maintain or even a bulking phase. This will help you find your calories that you need to do. Hold on, Jay. Jay, just stop. I've tried counting my calories and I haven't lost weight. I'm sorry, but I'm going to give you the blunt truth. You haven't counted your calories correctly if you think that you're in a deficit and you have not lost weight. You are either improperly counting the calories that you're eating, or you're forgetting to account for things like how much cooking spray did I put on this pan? Or did I just, not count that little candy that I had on my way to the office? Or that was 0 calorie sugar, right? Again, I am not sponsored, but I'm gonna show you some more tools that will help you track your calories. Right now, I'm using Cronometer. The reason I'm using Cronometer is because I found that all the free features is everything that I needed. I loved it so much that I thought the free version was better than some paid versions of other calorie counters. I eventually just bought Cronometer because I appreciated them so much and I thought they were a great company. So like I said, I'm not even sponsored by them, but I highly recommend getting something that will help you track your calories exactly. And Cronometer is my favorite one right now. It'll let you scan barcodes for free, it will let you set your calorie count, and it will even make you recommendations on calories, carbs, and fats. Dieting is hard enough and counting calories can just make it harder. So another thing that I highly recommend for you to do is to find yourself a meal plan where you can stick to this meal plan every single day or every other day, or if you're like me and you just really like variety, I have something different for every day of the week. But every day of the week, every Monday is the same as Monday. Every Tuesday is the same as last Tuesday. Every Wednesday is the same as last Wednesday. That way I get a big, nice variety and I kind of do like a 3-day switch. So it's not like 7 days of different foods every time. It's more like 3 to 4 days of the same rotation of that. And that just makes it a lot easier for me to count calories. I still put it into my Cronometer just to make sure that I'm getting everything exactly right. And sometimes I'd make little variations, but that makes counting calories so much easier and breezier for me. Now, how much of a deficit do you need to have? Well, again, that depends on how fast you want to lose it. I would not really recommend, unless you're extremely overweight, going over a 25% deficit. I'm gonna say stick to about 20. I think that that is probably just the sweet spot for most people. But if that's too hard for you, you can go slower and stick to a 10% calorie deficit. Sure, you're gonna lose weight slower, but you're probably gonna enjoy it day to day more. But for me, I kind of like to just go aggressive. That's how I ended up losing the 30 pounds in 3 months in the first place. Again, not gonna exactly recommend that, but going moderately aggressive, I would recommend doing that. Guys, there's really not much to this. I don't wanna make it more complicated than it is. Simply being in a calorie deficit will make you lose weight. Now, make sure that you get your protein and you'll keep your muscle at the same time. Last but not least, weight. Actually, it is the least important one. Exercise, hitting the gym. Like I said before, if you can do step 2, you're going to lose weight. If that's your only goal, then just stick to step 2. However, I have to recommend as much as possible getting some exercise. It's going to make it easier to lose weight and it just has so many health benefits to boot. By far my favorite type of exercise is weight training, resistance training, hitting the weights. I just enjoy it so much, and being strong has so many benefits as well. You feel better. Obviously, the general consensus is if you are stronger, you're going to look better. And if you look better, you often feel better about yourself. 99% of people are going to feel better if they look better. And 100% of people are going to feel better just physically, not even like this mental, like where am I at in my life kind of thing, but just simply being strong. You will feel better every single moment of every single day. Physically, just feel better. And weight training is actually incredibly good for your cardiovascular health as well. So, but again, like I said, if all you care about is cardiovascular health, by all means, go ahead, run, bicycle, hike, any of that stuff. I love sports too. Any of that is fantastic. My recommendation is simply weight training, resistance training. And that's the journey that I'm going on that I'll be bringing you along if you like. When you're brand new to weight training, it's pretty hard to get it wrong. Your body will be hypersensitive and respond very well and very quickly to any weight training. That's the truth. For your first 3 months, you could do pretty much everything wrong and still make some incredible gains. I'm gonna be making some more videos about after those 3 months, after 6 months, and after a year of training, because you do have to get a little bit more technical, especially after the 1 year mark. But for right now, if you want to make some serious gains, just get in the gym and start touching some weights. You're gonna blow up, especially if you've never trained before. Guys, that is it for the 3 steps. If you can do those 3 things, you will lose weight. That's exactly how I lost 30 pounds in 3 months. You may have noticed I completely left out supplements, and I did that on purpose. Whereas supplements can help, they are by far the least important thing. You can get all the protein you need from a correct diet, but having a protein supplement like a protein whey powder can make it easier. I will give you that, but it's definitely not required. I do it myself. The other supplement that I think is definitely worth looking into is creatine. Did you know that creatine has more studies on it than even protein? Creatine has been vastly researched so much, and all that data suggests it helps immensely with recovery from gym workouts. And if you can work harder, you're going to gain faster. There's a few other supplements that are, again, helpful, but I think those two supplements are the most helpful, and even then, they're not even required, guys. As I said, this process is incredibly simple, and you will be well on your way to losing weight and so much more better things for your life. That's a wrap for this video. Thank you so much for watching to the end. You're an absolute savage.